Hi guys. Uh, Finally, today I'm gonna give you the demonstration on how to build this pharmacy management system from scratch. Before, when I developed this software, it was basically my college project, final year project. I'll just give you an overview. How did I learn about all these things? So, it was my college final year project, and I have to do some kind of web application which I was really not interested in. I was really proficient in developing desktop application using Java, Swing, um, I even forget, there was Java FX. I was really interested, and then I went to my professor. Yeah, I said, okay, I'll be developing this thing. I said, no, you have to develop a web application. Come on, man, I have no idea of web application. I don't want to do that. uh, Obviously I have had coded in like HTML, CSS, and developed few static websites before, but never had any idea how to develop the entire thing. So okay, then I started researching in few of the topics. I knew a little bit of C sharp back then. I also developed desktop application in C sharp, which was really fun though. So, and then let me tell you, I had to put like a lot of effort. If you see my code back then, it is like really messy. It's not organized. It was a mess, but I got it running. You know, that's how I learned. I have had no idea how to uh, code um, in ASP.NET. Basically, it's a framework for web application. For developed by Microsoft. But then, definitely, I have had no idea how to do it. So I did a lot of research. I asked a lot of questions in Stack Overflow. I was downvoted, but then I realized, okay, these are already good questions asked. You need to research. If you don't find any, then you are supposed to ask. First of all, you need to do your research, really. And then, yeah, finally, at the end of the semester, I came up with this application which I was really proud of, and then I was able to get a lot of jobs opportunity as well. Let me tell you, you learn more when you do by yourself rather than um, when you rely on other person. And then I uploaded this college project in the YouTube, and then also gave access to my codes. But then like I get a lot of emails saying, could you please show us stepwise demonstration and how to do it. Yep. Okay. But then I was working, I had to do, I was working as a freelancer. I had a like job, so I was really busy. But then code was already there. I developed in my old machine with different configuration. When you guys download the code, try to run in your machine, your machine might have different configuration and it might not run. So the best thing is like you will definitely get a lot of error. The best way to learn is like I already provided you with codes. If it start running as soon as you import in your machine, then definitely you learn nothing. You just have something to show to your lecturer, show to your professor. You'll write a report, say you did it, but then you'll learn nothing. The best way of learning is by yourself. Do the research or look into others' code, try to figure out errors, because there is a lot of error in my code, and then try to fix it. And then you realize during the process that okay, this could be done better in this way, and that's how you'll polish yourself. Okay, so back then I developed this application using ASP.NET MVC, but now there's already .NET Core, which is like multi-platform, can be run in different platform, like not only in Windows, it can be run in Linux, Unix, Mac OS. So it's better if you start coding in .NET Core. So, and then I did this in typical MVC. Definitely MVC is basically a framework, and there will be a model, view and controller. We'll have model, view and controller right now as well, but then our project will be of web API project. So this is the overall picture, So where will we start from is we'll be developing web server first. We will not care about database, it doesn't matter. Database could be anything. We just need something to get working. Database is just the place where you store your data, end results, or a lot of data which you get from outside, like from the apps, process it and then save it, and then again if they ask for data, you'll just filter the data and then give out the data. So what we need here is like we need to develop a web server first, or if you are sure about which database to use, you can start writing your database tables, and then based on that you can generate the models, and then go this together. But for me, it's like what I think is I should be able to write a web server or this logic middleman and forget about database. Like if I have this thing ready and the customer says, okay, I need to store it in Oracle. Okay, I can write one file for the database which interacts with the Oracle, and then make the necessary tables, and then everything gets running. What if I develop the entire thing in Oracle, and then later on client says, okay, Oracle is a bit expensive, how about I use SQLite? Now what happens? Now you'll have a nightmare, oh my god, I already developed all the things for Oracle, now I have to change it, and that is really painful and expensive. So how you should approach is, forget about this thing, web app. You are concentrating right now in web server. So you'll be developing core business logic, everything, API endpoints, and then write everything, like store data in memory, make the list. If you want to store the users, make the list of users, and then just store in the list, just store in the list. Instead of database, we'll have the list, store in the list. And then later on, when you are sure about what database to use or what kind of data store you want to use, then you can maybe make the tables, and then you start storing in the tables. Maybe right now a lot of people think about cloud. Cloud have like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. They have a lot of data storage option, like they have data store, S3 bucket, different things. So what if client says, okay, I write a application and I should be able to store in like Google Cloud Data Store, Amazon S3 bucket, and even in SQLite, or even in this thing. So now you don't want to have a nightmare, or you don't want to have a hard time doing for each and everything again, rearranging all the code. So basically your code should be separated from the database. You should not care about database. Like, okay, you should write the code in such a way that like later on, if client says I want to store my data in this thing, okay, write one file, connect to a file, and that file will send all the data to this database. That's it. And then similarly, this part, let's not care about this thing as well. Like, okay, I want to just write an API web server, and then forget about this thing. The most important thing is, like, whatever you ask, you should be able to give. Whatever data it comes from outside, you should be able to store. And then whatever request for the data, it comes from different type of devices. It could be like a laptop, it could be iPhone, it could be Android, it could be tablet, it could be even console like CMD, command line. If they ask for this thing, then you should be able to give the data. So forget about this thing. So we are now developing this thing, and then later on we will decide about, okay, which database to use and what kind of UI we're gonna build. Like, for example, you can build your entire application using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Ajax, which will make the request and response, which will make the request and get the response, and then render in HTML and CSS. Definitely you can use AngularJS or Angular 8 or Node, like React.js for the front-end development, and which will interact with our web API or web server through API endpoints. So this is how we're gonna develop this entire application. I think this will be really fruitful for you all guys. So this is just the introduction. In part 2, I'll show you basically how to do but how to save the users, create the users, delete the users. Basically the first part, like login involves users, user ID, user password, and then login. So when you click login here, this is a web application. You don't care whatever, I don't care whatever you build this web application with. You can use AngularJS, you can use Node.js, not Node.js, like React.js, or even plain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that is this part. And then when you click login button, it will come here with data, username and password. My web server will check in database. For now, our database would be the list of users. It will just check in the database. Just imagine database is like list of users. So it will just check if the user with user ID and password exist in the list. If yes, it says okay, yes, it exists, and then I'll be able to log in. Okay, so we'll look more in detail in the codes in the part 2 video. Just tune in, and thank you for watching. Please do comment, subscribe, and write whatever you want. If you have any questions, just write in comments, I'll reply. Thank you for today. Bye.